Welcome to Grow Girl Podcast, where we empower women one conversation at a time. I am your host, Inuka Joe, and
I'm your host, What's So Honest from We Are Not the Same podcast.
please subscribe to our YouTube platform and all social media accounts.
Yes, good evening.
Good
How was your
evening.
weekend? Or your week, I should say. How was your week?
My week was long. It was long.
We're in the month of May. Like, we started back in October, setting all this podcasting up.
Yeah.
And just the other day, I looked up and I'm like, wow, I'm proud of us. Like, we're in the month of May and we're still going, we're still doing our thing.
Yes.
And I'm like, consistency is real. And we're doing the best we can.
Listen, we definitely are. We've definitely been consistent, and time is like moving along,
Yes.
going so fast.
Yes, it is. So now that we're in the month of May, it's so much to celebrate. So we're gonna start by saying Happy Mother's Day
Happy Mother's
to all the
Day.
moms. Happy Mother's Day, and also this month is Mental Health Awareness. All right. So shout out to everyone that have taken mental health awareness serious. Everyone that took their time out to seek therapy, find a new hobby, just was able to recognize that something's going on, or supporting a family member or a friend or a coworker that is going through something, dealing with mental health awareness. So, on that note, what is your take on mental health? Like, when did you finally realize or have understood what mental health awareness is about?
Well, the whole awareness of it, when it first started, like when I first started hearing about mental health, I didn't quite understand it. And then I started getting it. So, just the same way as we all take care of our physical health, right?
Yeah.
We have a issue with our feet, our hands, our heart. We go to a doctor. We also have to take care of our mental health. So I have to see it in that aspect that our minds is something else that we have to, treat and be mindful of. So it's very important, and I'm super happy that we have Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah. So
It's
I
needed.
did look it up, and people ask questions about, okay, what is mental health? We all have mental health because we all have a mind.
Yeah.
We all have a mind that keeps going and going and going. But when do you stop, drop, and realize, okay, something's happening?
Right.
I'm having an issue, and I'm not ready to, title it what it is, but I know I need to speak about it, or I need to seek help, or something's going on.
I think the issue is when you have like an issue physically, you can see it,
Yeah,
right? But mental health, it's like you can't see it. It's invisible until it manifests.
true.
Then that's when you want to go get the help. But we don't know. We're not privy to understanding how to initially take care of our mental health.
Got it. On that note, what is the difference between mental health and mental health illness?
So, mental health is your mental health,
Yeah,
just
is
like your
that
physical
two
health,
word?
your heart health, your women health, all of that,
Yes.
right? And the mental illness is an issue. It's a
Yeah.
diagnosis, right?
Basically, yeah.
Right.
So when I looked it up online, so mental health, once again, it's your mental, your mind, your where you at,
Yeah.
what you experienced in life, trauma, abuse, and the list can go on where your mental health can affect you. Because mental health illness starts when you finally realize you're in a situation you can't no longer.
It's a cycle, like a pattern. Like you keep going
Yeah,
through
you
this
can
loop
no
in your
longer.
mind.
You can no longer understand what's going on with you when you're in a situation.
Right.
So,
Listen, they say that mental health, like illness, starts in your teenage years.
yes,
I've also heard that it's hereditary. What do you think about that?
I believe it's hereditary
Yeah.
without the smile, but I think it's hereditary. I think part of mental health can be hereditary. Um, yeah, and that can be very traumatic for some people.
Why is it so taboo for us to even accept that it's hereditary? Because when a doctor asks you questions about your health, they go into your family history.
Yes,
They're
they
like,
do.
does your mother have diabetes, high
Yes.
blood pressure? And we be like, yeah, no, and we're good with that. But the mental part is like, we don't really want to, it's
Because
sticky.
at that moment, you don't know, now, we'll get on that topic soon too. When you're raising a kid, like now with us, when we're finally realizing our mom's traumas or our aunts and uncles, and we're realizing like now we're all adults in the situation, and we realize, wow, that person really had a mental issue back in the days.
Yeah,
If we could speak about what we spoke about on our last show, which was amazing, alcoholism.
true.
It's part of mental health as well, where you're drinking and
Suppressing.
using substance to suppress your mental health, to not overthink, to not think about what happened, to drown yourself in all the trauma you had. So you're right. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember a doctor really asking me about mental health with our family. Maybe they ask you that when you're going in for any psych
Yeah.
testing.
Yeah. I think it's a very taboo topic because we can't see the issue,
Yeah.
but it's imperative that we deal with our mental health like we
Yeah.
deal with our physical health.
Mental health for me is definitely a feeling. It's a feeling where you can feel it. You can feel where you got to stop, drop, and roll.
Stop, drop,
You
and
can
roll.
feel. You can feel where I'm not here right now. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't feel connected to something. I don't feel happy. I'm sad. It's all a feeling, like our five senses or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's definitely a feeling that can go low or high. Because a lot of people think a mental health illness is only a high spectrum. No, it's a low to it too,
Yeah.
where depression kicks in,
Let me tell
sadness
you.
kick in.
And then it's all also correlated. Like, for example, postpartum depression.
Yes,
Okay. That's something that's going on physically with your body and it affects your mental.
true.
So everything we have to analyze all parts of us, not just one part. Like us women, we just go every year to get our annual. We gotta also make sure that we're checking in with ourselves as well mentally. You
Yeah.
know.
Back in 2023, I created this thing which someone told me I should create like an app for it, where I did a mental health check-in. So it was
Ooh.
basically from 1 to 10.
Uh huh.
It will have your I had it in my hand earlier, but it was like where you at with finance, where you at with school. It was more for the teens at that time.
Oh, that's so good.
And we were checking in. I kid you not, in the beginning, everyone wasn't too comfortable doing it because it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to know my number's a 5 or it's a 4, or then you'll start
Yeah.
seeing a 5, but it's gonna get better, or a 6 and I'm gonna work on it, or not. Today was a 10, right? And then I remember one time someone said, "Wait, if you're up to a 10, that's probably too much because now you're above your mental." But I'm like, no, a 10 is good.
Yeah.
Don't think a 10 is bad. A 10 is good. Some people want to stay borderline because they don't want to know that they can make it to a 10. But I'm not going to lie, that season, it lasted probably like a good year of me sending it out to all my nieces, my nephew, depending on who it was, and I'll send it out to them. And I'll get the results back, and I will actually jot it down. I'll record it, and then I'll send it back to them like, hey, last week this was your number. You're doing better.
Oh, that's really,
You
really, really
know?
good.
So we had one that was business, and they're like, but I don't own a business. But I was like, do you work for a business? Think about it like that. How you doing with the business? So when I seen it, I was like, I want to go back doing that. I think it was an
No, that
amazing
sounds
thing.
really good to
Someone was like,
do.
you should create an app for this one. This is really dope. So I'll look into it, y'all.
Yeah,
But that was
especially
nice.
nowadays.
A mental health check
Yeah.
moment. And yeah. Some people, if I didn't send it, they're like, hey, I didn't get the mental thing. I was like, you can always do it and send it to me. You don't have to wait for me to send it to you, but or I'll be like, send me your numbers.
Yeah,
So
that's a
that'll
good
definitely be
way.
part of my,
That's a good way to check in
yeah.
with
It was called a
yourself.
check-in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it started with me.
Doing it for
Yeah,
yourself.
like checking in, like, okay, where I'm at here, where I'm at here. And then I realized, wait, this can help other people. So that's when I started texting it out.
That's so good.
So I'll probably get back to that. I'm gonna think about it.
I think it's needed, especially in this generation.
Oh Lord.
Oh my gosh.
What generation are we in right now?
I believe we're in Generation Z.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the mix. I think it's Z and A.
Z and A. Yeah, Z. The A's are alive.
they're
They're alive. They're here.
they're
They're
surviving.
surviving. Generational Z, Generational A. I'm like, wow, because they are familiar with AI from
Well,
the get go.
generational A is the first generation that's fully
Fully,
digital.
fully digital.
Generation Z started like they started off with the books or whatever. Then they were like the first generation that was introduced to smartphones. But generation A, they just came already knowing the color of the YouTube to click.
It's so crazy, but it's real. It's true.
It's
1 year
happening.
olds are like ding 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 ding
Yeah,
ding.
they know.
They
And it's
know.
really a color thing for them at that moment, but they know to click on that. So oftentimes we hear people say, "Oh, this generation, that generation." What's your take with where we at with the generations? Because we're what, millennials?
Yeah, I'm a millennial. But I do feel like I have a little Gen Z in me as well.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
The Gen Zs are the digital natives. I'm a little digital savvy, just a little bit, just a tad bit. We're socially conscious. I
Okay.
feel like I have that, and Gen Zs are entrepreneurial.
Yes.
And I have that as well. And the Gen Zs, they're attracted to me. Like they think that I'm like on their team almost.
So you can just say you're stuck in the middle because I
Yeah,
feel
I'm
like
stuck in the
sometimes
middle.
I'm
Yeah.
stuck in the middle with
Yeah.
the ones above me, myself, like the millennials, and then the one under me, which is the Gen Zs.
Right. I could definitely agree with that. I do believe like I'm stuck in the middle or whatnot. And the Gen A's are the ones that I'm a little fearful of
Why?
because they're so digital with AI. Like in their future, I don't even know what jobs they're going to have. I don't know what jobs they're going to have. I don't even know if they're going to be socially aware because they're so digital.
I mean, I've been on Indeed lately,
Uh-huh.
and I'm really shocked to see the type of jobs they're asking for,
What are
especially
you
with
seeing?
content creators.
Hey.
A lot of digital stuff. Listen, I'm the generation where we had to put our phones away during the 8-hour work, right? You can't even have your phone on the floor when you're in certain schools or clinicals or whatever. Now,
True.
jobs are hiring you now to come and record, come and do content for them, or once again, remote jobs. But you're right about their jobs. I mean,
No, because it's like the thing with Gen A, because they're in the AI realm and everything is so digital with them, a lot of the times people are afraid that they're not gonna know how to, relate one on one
social.
socially.
Yeah.
Right? It may happen, may not. I don't know, but I'm just saying that's one of the things that I read about like Gen A's.
Well, I'm familiar with a couple of Gen A's. One thing I will say, they like to express themselves though.
They don't care, huh?
They're open to speak about it. Like if you get them at a place where you ask them a question about something personal or something, they will speak.
Okay.
They don't mind speaking. It's not that they're not afraid to get judged. Unlike
That's so true. They're not.
they're not.
I think as the millennials, we're more.
Yeah, of
On
course
the-
we don't.
we don't
'Cause
wanna get judged.
We were raised where you don't want to be judged. You don't want to look shamed upon.
Yeah.
But the millennials tell you straight up, like, yeah, and da da da. You like, whoa, too much, too much.
Yeah.
But then you gotta be like, wow, like if you actually speak to them, they'll speak back.
That's true. Another thing that I realized about our generation of millennials, we were taught to go to school,
Yes,
get married before 30,
yes. Buy a house.
buy a house. Oh yeah, that house thing was big. Buy a house,
A routine.
a
Work.
routine, and work. Yeah.
So, school, work, wife, kids, home.
Right.
School, work, wife, kids, home.
Yeah.
And some of us are still stuck in that.
Stuck trying to get there, but realizing that that's not the goal.
No.
We don't have to have that pattern in every lifetime for everybody.
No. That's why I like the fact that we can keep Gen Z around. You know what I'm saying? Like some people be like, "Oh, their kids know they'll help." Like right now, I'm working on a whole skin routine. I gotta go to Gen Z about it. Cause the older girls, they're with the products that I'm like, you know, Gen Z, they be glowing.
They be
You know, so
glowing.
I gotta go to Gen Z to ask about hair products. If I'm buying an extension, I'll send it to one of my nieces. Hey, what do you think about this wig? They know.
No, they do know, and they content game be on point. I'm like,
Real
who
point.
taught you?
Yeah.
They just know.
Yeah. And the thing about their content, they're not afraid. You know how I'm very like, oh my God, Inuka, how do I sound? How do I look?
They don't care.
No. Those kids are like, yeah, and da-da-da. Yeah. They don't care.
They're
But
so
then low key, you want to tell them, no, you should care. You
yeah.
should have some type of shame about certain things. But yeah, Gen Z, I think they're definitely the generation that is now realizing what college is about, and they could care nothing about it.
That's true too. Yeah. It was definitely the millennials. We were so college savvy,
Career driven.
yeah, career driven. Now it's just content, social media, online, everything. Entrepreneur, become your own brand.
Yes.
Okay, and that's all good,
It
and
is.
I love it. I do.
But I know in every generation, it's a balance.
Yeah.
It's a balance. So even with Gen Z, like it's okay to ask the millennials because I feel like Gen Z is us on steroids. Like Gen Z is the millennials where if we didn't listen to Sister Mary Kate, we would have been the Gen Zs of our generation. You know, because remember, we always had a talent. We always had a hobby that could have became a job, but we were always told, you got to do this, you have to do that. Don't do this. Don't wear no short dress. He don't like to see you half naked. That's why we all look. We all was like 22, 23, looking like little old ladies.
Oh,
Because someone told us, don't show the skin, don't do this, don't do that. So we were covered up. If you see some pictures of me and some of my friends, we look like older women in our 20s.
you did.
Yes, because we were told, don't show skin, don't do this. He don't want no hoochie in bed. He don't want this. Yeah. All of that. And then there was always a saying where he really wanted to take that stripper home, but then we over here look like little old ladies
Oh my
trying to please
gosh.
mommy and going there like a whole turtleneck. You feel me? And then later on we realized, no. I mean, girl, you look old.
I felt like I always looked young. I always tried to,
You
that
didn't go through a
balance.
phase where you felt like you needed that big purse, that not accessory,
That
but
baby
it was
bag.
like, what you call it, the
Baby bag. I got a big bag now.
That's that business look though. That's
Yeah.
what was happening. We had this career look to us,
Okay.
but we're only like 23.
Wow.
But we'll go to events or a baby shower looking like grown women. Nah. So when it looks like we're going backwards, it's not that we're going backwards with the millennials. I think we're finally listening to our own self.
Yeah.
Because for me, for millennials of like us, we're 4 years apart. My millennial moments it was always this, I don't know if I could say this, but it was always this spiritual mom you had
Okay.
that already experienced her situation. She could have been whatever in the streets, whatever, but now she's holy thou.
Whatever in the streets,
So,
y'all.
so now she's like the holy thou. So guess what? When she see you, she see me, she don't want us to go through that. So what ended up happening, she's telling us her experience. So now we're like going off of what she's telling us to not do because what she did and where she felt it didn't get her.
Like a mentor.
A mentor.
Okay.
So it made us stuck. So the millennials, we were stuck for a good minute. We were stuck trying to be this perfect wife, this perfect mom if you had kids, or this perfect career girl where you were afraid to get fired. Because that was another thing. They put in our mind where like you have to work, try not to get fired. So you worked under all the pressure.
I definitely believe I was Gen Z growing up. I didn't care to
That's-
get fired. I did not.
Oh yeah, Gen Z don't care about work.
Yeah, I didn't care to get fired. I remember going to work in my 20s and be like, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm going to
Yeah.
be leaving soon. I'll plan my day to resign.
When it comes to Gen Z, I know when I hear people are hiring for positions, yeah, they'll come for that work. They'll come for the work day, get paid, and